And welcome back to Varsity Sports Now. Jay Elson and Jason Andera. And Jason, there's a lot of good basketball being played up and around Aberdeen this season, both boys and girls right now.
Well, we knew at the beginning of the season there was going to be a lot of strong teams, and it's come to fruition. A lot of teams to talk about. A couple of them have vaulted even to undefeated records, like Aberdeen girls, for instance. Summit has been playing well, as always. So always a rich talent in that area.
Well, and for more on that, we bring in Ryan Deal from the Aberdeen American News. And Ryan, on the girls' side in AA, Washington and Mitchell, of course, commanding a lot of the headlines so far this season. But Aberdeen is actually the only team that's undefeated now at this point. So what you've seen a lot of them. What makes them so good?
You know, Aberdeen Central, they're just a balanced team. They're led by a couple of seniors who are going to go play college basketball. Sammy Connect and Bryn Flacus. Those two are going to go play at the University of Sioux Falls. But you know, other than those two, I mean, they're just pretty balanced. You know, they got Kelsey Hannigan, and then as always, you gotta mention Dawn Seiler, the coach. You know, she just always has them just so well coached and just so disciplined. So that's what always makes them, you know, just so tough, is just Dawn Seiler. And they're just going to be tough, you know, especially in the come March and the postseason and everything.
Well, we move to Class B, and you talk about Summit and Warner, two of the strongest teams in the state, and they happen to be in the same region. They squared off on Monday night, and only one of them can make it to state. So what do you think about these two teams? Yeah,
like you said, you know, only one can make it to state. That's unfortunate, but you know that's how it is in a lot of districts and regions and everything. You know, Summit, they've basically kind of been the kingpin, so to say, you know, in Class B girls basketball the last 3-4 years and everything. So they're solid as well this year. You know, they didn't graduate anybody from last year's team, and then Warner is, they've been so strong in volleyball last few years. You know, they won the state volleyball tournament this past season and everything. So it was a good game on Monday. Summit ended up winning by like 11, something like that. So it's gonna be another good game when they play in the postseason and everything. But just some two other good solid teams up by Aberdeen.
Ryan, Class B boys, now I understand you went to the Faith and Dupree game on Wednesday. How good are these teams? 60-41 Dupree, the winner. But can either one of these teams or both compete with the top teams in Class B?
I think so. Dupree last year they made it to the state tournament. They got 7th. That was kind of a surprise that they made it to the state tournament last year. They actually had to upset Faith in the region to get there. They returned just about everybody back from last year's team, and still a lot of people are not kind of giving them a whole lot of credit because not a lot of people from from South Dakota get to see them play. But I'm kind of familiar with them. I've seen them play quite a bit the last couple of years, and they're solid. I mean, they're a lot of people ain't kind of giving them some respect, but they know how to play the game, and they're going to be contenders. I think if they get to the state tournament.
All right, now the Roncalli boys last year made it to the state tournament. This year got off to a great start and hit a little rough patch recently. Do they have enough to restart and to make their way back to the state tournament?
I think so. Coach Neuendorf, they always play a tough schedule. They recently lost to Del Rapids, and they lost to a good dual team, and then of course they lost to St. Thomas More early in the season. So they always play a tough schedule during the regular season, but that always benefits them come postseason. So I definitely think once March rolls around, that playing that tough schedule is going to benefit them. So don't be surprised if he has them right back in the state tournament and probably playing in one of those night games on Friday for a chance to play in the state championship game.
I had a conversation with Coach Neuendorf the other night on Twitter, just about that very thing, about the schedule and things of that nature, and that's what good programs do. You play tough teams so that you're better and that you're ready come March, and certainly that's the goal for Coach Neuendorf and the Cavaliers. They're certainly going to be a factor down the stretch. All right, he is Ryan Deal from the Aberdeen American News. Well, we've already talked about two top-ranked teams in South Dakota that were upset on Tuesday, but a North Dakota #1 went down as well. We've got highlights from that one next.